So, I want to address some things I've said about work. Never said that I was opposed to working. I've worked a lot of jobs that I never wanted to do, would never have done for myself. I've put myself in really bad situations to make sure I could provide for my wife and children. I have worked myself to the point of near death, and I don't mean that figuratively. I mean that actually and literally. I'm not opposed to working. What I'm opposed to is, well, one, not making enough money to pay my bills. And that was Family Dollar. Family Dollar was only ever meant to be a stepping stone. I didn't quit without prospects. I already actually had a job that I was already working. Family Dollar was one of two jobs. But, Family Dollar wasn't even enough to pay the bills I currently have. That's not even adding the bills that I'll have after the divorce, child support on top of that, and if my soon-to-be ex-wife gets her way, the fees that I'll have to pay every time I visit my children because she wants supervised visitation on me. I am not opposed to working. I started working when I was 14 years old. And since I was 14 years old, I've been without a job 4 times since I was 14. 5 times. 5 times. 3 of those times was when I was married. Most of my jobs were manual labor jobs. Most of them. Not all of them. I've worked just about everything a man can without a license or certification, and I've done some of them. I did construction for 10 years, everything from laying concrete to electrical work, drywall, suspended ceilings. I'm not opposed to work. I have the calluses and scars to prove it. But 2 things, like I said, 2 things that I no longer tolerate. If I can't pay my bills, then where I'm at isn't good enough. And if I have to change for a job, screw it. I've done it before and it wasn't worth it. If you have a problem with that, so what? It's not your life, it's mine. Somebody accused me of sounding like a child because I refused to change for a job ever again. Well, I've done my fair share of changing for jobs, and not once was it ever worth it. As far as changing for people, I never said that I would be this toxic jerk that expects everybody around me to change while I remain the same. What I will not change is who I am, my identity. I'll no longer let people demand that I sacrifice bits of my identity, my personality, to make them feel more comfortable. You don't like me, go away. What I will sacrifice and change, what I have absolutely no problem sacrificing and changing, is toxic behavior. I don't want to hurt people without provocation. And even then, it has to be pretty severe. These few months of separation, being away from that environment, has allowed me the objectivity that I've needed. Not just to look at the situation I just came out of, but to look at myself as well. I have exhibited my fair share of toxic behaviors. Those things I want to get rid of, I want to change. I'm not changing who I am again. Only when I do wrong. Ultimately, financially, I want to be in a position where even if I do have to pay all that extra nonsense for whatever the courts decide, I want to still be able to get extra things for the kids and pay for outings and take vacations with them, and even when I'm not with them. I want to have a good, solid quality of life, despite opposition and adversity. So I have financial goals. They're just not the same as before, because before they included my wife and a whole future with them. All of them, my wife and my children. Well, now I'm losing my wife, and I won't be with my children every day. It's very likely she'll be the primary custodian. So I'll get to see them from time to time. So the future that I had planned with my wife and children isn't the same future that's in front of me. So yeah, I still have financial goals. They're just not the same ones. And Family Dollar is not going to accommodate those goals. I can't even pay the handful of bills that I have with what I was making at Family Dollar. Keep in mind, I went to Family Dollar intentionally, and it was not to make sure that I was underemployed, because I know how child support works. They're not going to look at what I'm doing right now. I know that. I've done a lot of study into what's coming, what's ahead. And no, I was a stay-at-home dad for a year. Some reason somebody had it in their head it was 3 years. But no, I quit mid-summer of 22. So it was a little more than a year, like a year and a half. That, of course, includes this time of separation. But I got that job, Family Dollar, knowing I could get it quickly, knowing that I needed at least something coming in, and to get me back into the workforce. Sort of a jump start, if you will. I mean, one of the defining characteristics of ADHD, which I was diagnosed with in 94, is difficulty initiating tasks. That includes going to work. So I kind of had to jumpstart myself back into the workforce. And Family Dollar served its purpose. Then moving on. And if what I have right now isn't going to be enough, well, I'll move on to somewhere else until I find something that is enough. But I will not make the same mistakes I did before, no matter how many people ridicule me for it. On a side note, I've noticed a pattern, and this has been going on for the last, month and a half. Every time I mention my soon-to-be ex-wife in a video, whether what I say even actually has to do with anything or is just making mention in passing, somebody will inevitably come on and start trying to attack me and tear me down in the comment sections of my videos. And I know some of them are probably just people who don't really know what's going on. They're just looking at it from their point of view. But I've discovered that most of those people are actually people who personally know her. And I want to remind everybody that victims don't attack, they defend. And victims don't try to silence people, abusers do. But today was pretty much a waste of time. I didn't get a single thing done that I wanted to get done. I even tried to go to work, and when I got there, there was no work to be done. Well, not entirely true, but for all intents and purposes, there was no work to be done today. So I ended up coming all the way back home, and I've had this terrible migraine all day long, and I had no ability to focus on a thing. I was actually going to do some writing on a book. That didn't happen. So, no, hopefully I won't have such an unproductive day for a while. Maybe tomorrow I'll be a little more productive. I'm going to try to go back to work tomorrow and see what happens. Hopefully I'll be getting paid soon, and hopefully enough to take care of a couple of bills. I got one that's overdue right now. It's alright. I'll work it out. One way or another, I always do. Don't pity me. I don't want pity. Not because I'm not worthy of pity, but because I'm not doing this for pity. Actually, none of these videos are actually for my immediate benefit, which they do help. Actually, it helps a lot to just talk. To be honest, I probably could be talking to the space heater in front of me and still get the same effect, but some reason it helps a little more to actually put it on video. Anyway, I'm not looking for immediate gratification. I'm actually doing this partly to get it off my chest, but also to chronicle my journey through all this stuff. And maybe, just maybe, me coming through to the other side of it will help somebody else who's going through the same thing. Whatever mistakes I make during all this, you can look at it objectively and say, okay, well, that was wrong. I won't do that. And whatever I did right during all of this, people can say, okay, well, that was right. I'll go ahead and do that. Maybe it'll help me. I'm not faultless. I know that I've made stupid decisions, even during the separation. The point isn't to be perfect. The point is to actually show myself and other people that you can mess up and still go the right direction eventually. That healing is possible, even if you really were the problem. You can still heal. The divorce is still going to mess you up. And hopefully you come out on the other side, even if you are the toxic one, the abusive one. Even if you were the problem, you can come out on the other side better, hopefully being able to look at everything objectively, whether I'm a sounding board or a mirror. I just want to make sure other people are able to heal also. I do my healing off of YouTube. This is partly for me, but mostly for others. So, take it how you want, but don't delude yourself. There's not one of you that's more perfect than any other.